What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Tonyd2wild checking in once again, back in the building today, guys, with a classic in the building. The Jordan 12 flu game. Now, guys, the Jordan 12 flu game is set to release on March 1st for a retail price point of $200. This is a size 8.5. The sizing on here is true to size. It fits like any typical Jordan 12 if you've previously worn them. I usually go true to size with 12s. And you can size up half a size if you want that little bit of extra room. But for the most part, you are typically good to go with the amount of cushioning featured on this shoe. And it is still a very comfortable shoe, even though it is clocking very close to a 30-year-old sneaker. Originally releasing back in 1997, the Jordan 12 flu game has gotten its name, of course, from the flu that Jordan caught during Game 5 of the NBA Finals in 1997. Now, what was called the flu was really food poisoning from the night before when he ordered pizza to his hotel. It's been speculation that it was done purposely as well as on accident. It was actually in Utah as well, and Jordan still was able to score 38 points and lead the Chicago Bulls to a victory over the Utah Jazz. Fast forward, the shoe has been named the flu game ever since. Now, the last time this shoe actually released was back in 2016, and a lot of us were still copying like we cop today, and maybe have questioned whether or not to grab the 2025 pair over the 2016 pair. 9 years, you know, shoes technically only last about 10 years till they start dying. That is, however, if you don't wear them. I've been wearing these for the most part, and they've held up very, very well. So I am one of those people in the boat of like whether or not to go for the newer pair when I already have the older pair. Now, what I will say, and this is just being very just straightforward, and this is just my opinion, but I do like the newer version a little bit more than the older version. What I've seen is there is some slight color variation as well as on the two. If you can see, this is the older pair. You can see that this portion right here is a little bit darker than that one. That blends in very, very well. But one of the big things that I saw and I compared it to is I compared this pair and this pair to the original 1997 pair. And what I saw is that the newer pairs actually do a better job at bringing them closer to the OG itself. One of the big things that I noticed was the actual snakeskin printing on here. On the older pair, you could see, I want to make sure I got this the right one, the older pair right here, that is a little bit smaller. It's slimmer. You can see it's very slim on that snakeskin, whereas on the newer pair, it's extremely big in significance compared to the older pair. But this is how the 1997 pair actually looked. Another thing, these are extremely tumbled. You know, you could see it. It's a nice tumbled overall feeling of leather. But this one is tumbled as well. But the tumbling markings, if you see, are smaller. The tumbleds, whatever you would like to call them, right? Those blocks, those the tumbleness of it, right, is smaller than on the 2016 pair. I saw and I compared, and this seems to match up a little bit more with that original pair as well. And last but not least, I would say the icing on the cake that kind of did it for me to make this assumption is the toe box. If you look at the toe box on the older pair, it's a little bit more flat compared to the newer pair, which is a little bit more round. And if you look here as well, you can see the differences of the shape once again of how far out that snakeskin goes in there compared to on the newer pair. And from what I saw, the overall shape, the roundness, where this is a little bit more flat and this is a little bit more round, I came to my own conclusion that these look a little bit closer to the original. Now, does that mean that I need to go out and spend $200? That doesn't mean nothing, but it is something to point out in a review to my audience out there that may question, yo, Tony, is it closer to the original? Is it better than the 2016 pair? How are your thoughts and opinions on? Well, that's my thoughts and opinions. I do feel like the shape, the color, and the actual paneling is closer to the original 1997 pair. And if we are striving to get to that, I call that the better shoe. I did think that the 2018 Jordan 3 was slightly better than the 2025, or was it 2024 pair that released? But the 2024 pair was closer to the original. And over time, I've definitely said that my mind has kind of understood that, and I am starting to believe that, yeah, just because I feel like it was more tumbled or better leather, I think that the newer pair of the black cement achieved what it was going after better than the 2018 pair. So with that said, all that being said, these are better in my opinion than the previous pair back then. I was trying to see if this was plastic as well. It is plastic. I just wanted to see that. So I don't know if they were originally like metal or they changed that over time, but yeah. So with that said, I mean, they're pretty spot on. Air Jordan 12 Retro Blacks slash Varsity. The quality of the leather for the most part, the quality of the craftsmanship for the most part is very, very well put out. I like also what they did with the tongue. You know, the tumbleness on the tongue as well is very nice. The shape, once again, like I said, it has that slim overall look. Where another thing, sorry I keep pointing it out, and I've worn these so it's a little bit different, but the 2016 pair just looks way more fatter and wider, where it's originally, you know, a more slim styled sneaker. So I like that as well. So I think these are going to be a very, from what I'm hearing, there's going to be tons of pairs. But it's going to be a high demand shoe. You feel me? It's going to be very similar to the demands of what we've seen for metallic 5s and other classics that are finally coming back out. It's been 9 years since this shoe has dropped as well. The Cherry 12s, it had been a long time before they retroed them. When they retroed them, I went and grabbed them. I know people are coming into the game now that did not cop pairs in 2016. So this is their first time getting a pair. Like, that's something I'm learning and seeing more and more in the sneaker world, is that, to me, like, just doing it, this is another day on the job, but there's so many new people that have became sneakerheads from 2016 that maybe came one in 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021, it's a lot of time for new people to come in and be like, damn, I like those, and I had them back in the day, or I didn't get them. So I think that these are going to perform very well. So be on the lookout, and just keep your eyes peeled, because even though there's a lot of pairs, you never know how the market's going to do. People could bottom up, resellers can go grab them. It's going to be a shoe that I feel like will have a decent size demand. Just be on the lookout. See your stores, check your local boutiques, check your online as well, because I think with the proper maneuvers, you could make it possible to grab yourself a pair. As always, you got everything truest to its OG, and that's what's been said from Jordan Brand that they wanted to make sure that they did. Carbon fiber, everything checks out and looks very spot on from your typical Jordan 12 flu game. Now, from what I think off the top of my head, this will be the 5th time that this shoe has retroed. I believe it, of course, dropped in 1997. It dropped again in like 2002 or something. And then I know it dropped again, I want to say like around 2009 and then 20. My dates are off, right? But I know they dropped 3 times, and then they dropped the 4th time, which I got was that pair, and then they dropped again, which is coming 2025. And the previous pair before that, 2016 pair, which I think was 2009 or something like that, they changed the whole shoe up. It was like a suede flu game. So for the most part, they've kept them pretty original. They haven't really done many changes for this shoe overall. They've always kind of stated them the same. So I'm not mad for that. So yeah, 1997 original release date, 2003, 2009, and then 2016, and then now 2025. They do come in that old school box. You have the Nike on there as well. Keep that in mind. You have the Nike on the box because back when they released in 1997, they were under Nike. It was not Jordan Brand or anything of that nature. You also, let me just see it for myself. You have the Jordan logo on the inside here though. So keep that in mind. Because I don't know, I would say maybe back in 97, yeah, 97, they probably would have had the Nike logo on the inside. So yeah, I believe that the previous, the 1997 when they originally released, had the Nike logo branding on there. It wasn't until like 2003 where Jordan Brand had fully like separated from Nike and started doing all that. But they did put the branding of Jordan in there and not the Nike, even though we do see it here on the box. But with that said, man, a classic shoe making its way back. I would love to hear you guys' thoughts and opinions down below in the comment section. If you're going to be copping these or not, let me know. And with that said, I'm going to end you guys and girls off with an on-foot review.